Hello and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. We want to welcome you on whichever platform you're watching because we are multicasting, multi-streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So on whatever platform you're watching, we want to welcome you to the conversation. If you are returning, thank you to my growing list of subscribers. Thank you so much. Hopefully everyone is having a happy holiday season. And if you are new to the conversation, we want to welcome you. We know you're going to hear and see something that you want to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. So now that rapper Tory Lanez has been found guilty of shooting his former girlfriend or friend with benefits, whatever you want to call her, Meg THEE Stallion, in 2020, Lanez could be deported to Canada and he could be sentenced to 22 years in prison for 3 different felonies. The first one is for assault with a firearm. The second one is for carrying a loaded unregistered firearm. And the third one is for discharging that firearm with gross negligence. So Lanez, whose government name is Daystar Peterson, yeah, like World Star except Daystar Peterson, yeah, he pleaded not guilty to those 3 charges. And in his last tweet in early December, he quoted the Bible. Let's look at what Daystar Peterson said in his last tweet in early December. He said, I'm going to leave it right here one more time and watch how it goes. No weapon formed against him shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against him in judgment shall be condemned. So he's asked us the public to sit down and look and watch. So it sounds like Daystar and Derek Jackson's wife are reading from the same script. They're condemning people for exercising their freedom of speech. So Daystar, and that's what his mama named him, so that's what I'm going to call him today. Daystar is condemning the judge. He's condemning the jury. He's condemning Meg and the person who lived in the neighborhood, who witnessed the incident from their window and who testified during the trial. That person recorded the video that showed Megan standing in the street leaving bloody footprints as she walked, trying to walk away. So we're going to talk about what I have issues with in this whole thing, in the trial and with the incident right after this commercial break. So, welcome back. We are talking about the fact that rapper Tory Lanez, government name Daystar Peterson, has been convicted. And I just want to talk about what I think about this whole trial and the reason that they were arguing in the first place that led to the trial. Now, Daystar Lanez did a good job for the past 2 years of not talking in public, not making a public statement. I know he put out a CD and named it "Sorry for What," so maybe that was his only statement. But I applaud him for not going on social media and talking a lot, because we people in general need to learn to be quiet and talk at the appropriate time when it matters, because trying to prove your innocence to millions of people on social media doesn't matter. In fact, it could get you into more trouble based on what you say, because it's recorded, because police will go back prosecutors will go back and they will look at what you said and how you said it, which is what they did to Meg THEE Stallion on the stand. They used her words against her that she posted on social media. So at least Tory Lanez Daystar Peterson had that going for him. But here's where I think he went wrong. Witnesses for the prosecution lined up and took the stand and testified that Lanez was the shooter on that night in that incident. So if you got at least 3, 4, 5 folk who lining up to say that you are the person, you are the aggressor, that you did what you are accused of doing, and that's why you're charged with 3 felonies, and that's why you could possibly go to prison for the next 22 years. Why wouldn't Lanez, or why wouldn't his attorney think it was in his best interest to defend himself in court by testifying on his behalf? He did not testify on his behalf. Now, I realize it is a person's right to not take the witness stand. Most people don't because of the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent even through the trial, because what you say could be used against you in a court of law. But if you honestly feel like, I just don't see how that's going to do you any good. If you got people lining up to say that you did it, why wouldn't you, if you didn't do it, take the stand in your own defense? So if people are saying that you're guilty, the jury needs to hear from the accused that you are not guilty. That's just how it works. That's human nature, for a juror to say, well, he didn't say he didn't do it, and this is the time that you should be saying that you didn't if you didn't. So you're leaving them hearing the side of hearing only one side. That's the first issue that I have. The second issue that I have is that Daystar Peterson's father, Sunstar, his father's name is Sunstar, son's name is Daystar Peterson. Sunstar disrupted the court after his son was convicted and then accused everybody else of doing wrong except his son. He accused the prosecutors of just want to get, a conviction. He accused Jay-Z and Rock Nation. I'm not sure. He blurted out, you might have seen that video, how they're ruining young people's lives and all of that. I don't know how that connects to the shooting and putting the gun in Daystar's hand that night. But Sunstar accused dang near everybody but his son for that shooting that night. And when Daystar didn't even speak up for himself when he had the chance, that just speaks volumes to me. Okay. Now I know your parents are going to be ride or die for their kids. Okay. But Sunstar should have sat this one out. When Sunstar, the time for Sunstar to have said something to Daystar was when Daystar, Tory Lanez, was seen on video chasing people through a venue, using his entourage to beat up a guy. When Tory Lanez, Daystar, is seen on video doing all these other things, making him look like a menace to society. These are the times that Sunstar should have pulled over Daystar and said, slow your roll. This is not going to lead to the best end for you in the long run, because again, this type of behavior could be used against Tory Lanez. Okay. So my last issue is with Megan, and what she testified was the reason for the argument that led to the shooting. Now, Megan said that she didn't want to confess to her best friend and assistant, Kelsey Harris, that Meg and Tory Lanez were friends with benefits. And so when Tory kept trying to push her into telling the friend that they were sleeping together, that led to some heated words and calling people out of their names. And then that's when Meg said she got out the car, somebody got out the car, and then she heard, according to the testimony that was released, she heard somebody say, "Dance, bitch." And that means in that scenario, when somebody is about to start shooting, and you know how you're running away and all of that, so it's in reference to you moving because dancing, trying to avoid getting shot because somebody is about to start shooting. And then that's when she said Tory Daystar Lanes Peterson shot her, or shot at her feet, and she got bullet fragments in her feet. And so going back, so that's how the issue started. And it turns out that Kelsey Harris, who is supposed to be, was Meg's best friend and assistant. If you knew that your best friend and assistant had a crush on somebody or was trying to get to know someone, why would you then go behind that friendship and sleep with this person and create an intimate relationship with somebody that you know your friend is interested in? So that's what I don't understand, and that's what I don't like. If Kelsey was your best friend, that relationship with Kelsey should have meant more to Megan than obviously it did. And that's how foul that some people can be. So if I was Kelsey, I wouldn't want to be friends with Megan either. And to my understanding, they haven't spoken, hadn't been friends. They might have spoken, but they hadn't been friends. You know, once you find out what somebody is like, once people show you who they are, you believe them, okay? And even though you might try to be the better person and still, communicate like an adult, um, the relationship, it has changed essentially, and you just can't trust that person like you used to. And so, yeah, that's probably what has happened between Meg and Kelsey. And Meg's, said the reason why. And so, a lot of things come out in a trial in daylight that we do in the dark. And we know good and dang well when we doing it in the dark, we shouldn't be involved in stuff like that, because it's a blemish on our character, and on our, possibly on our future. So I would say this in closing: true friends are hard to find, and you can get D anywhere. But if you find a true friend, that relationship is something that you should value over most anything. So we must have more discernment about the people that we keep in our personal space and in our aura. Because, like Shanquella Robinson learned, she lost her life over fake friends. And Kelsey Harris and Meg THEE Stallion, government name Megan Pete, they could have lost their lives that night over a senseless shooting. So when you find out what people are about and what they're into, if it doesn't sit well with you being associated with that, then vote with your feet and walk away while you still can. And that's my lesson, my what I want to share with you. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and have a super day.